What we have here is a machine I just acquired because the customer didn't want to pay to fix it. This is a circa 2009 MacBook Unibody that has suffered a coffee spill. So I surveyed the damage and I found that the machine is still functional, but the LCD display was destroyed. I've already swapped it out with one that I had in my parts bin that was in pretty rough shape, which is why it was in the parts bin to begin with. This particular display housing has cracks on both sides, and it just isn't pretty. It's got some cracks in the bezel here. This one had been sat on or stepped on or something. But I mounted it, hooked it up, and powered on. I haven't charged the battery yet, so whatever residual charge was left in it. But anyway, so a couple of things happened to this machine. The display wicked up the moisture, and I wish I still had it to show you guys, but it had like rainbow patterns and weirdness between the glass panel and the light diffuser coatings and stuff. So it was really awful. You couldn't really make out what was on the screen, but it was, you could tell it was functional. The other problem is the keyboard is destroyed. So this machine will need to be completely disassembled and reassembled with a new top case. This top case here was also in my parts bin. This one actually has a lot of damage. I think it came from the same machine that the screen came from. But the keyboard does work, or at least it did when I last checked it. It has cracks between the keys and right here. So it's a little worse for the wear. But for a little knock-around machine, I think it'll be okay. You know, I'll just clean it up. I mean, the thing is that the case is structurally solid because most of the structure is actually it's all part of the metal housing or metal framework that's molded into the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to salvage this machine by transplanting its internal organs into this upper case. The bottom cover is ruined. I'm going to try to fix that. This is actually part of a repair extension program that Apple had issued a few years ago. And hope the camera still works. Still recording. So anyway, it was part of a repair extension program that Apple had issued a few years back. And they would give you a whole new bottom case at no cost, but I don't think that program is still active. So I'm going to have to replace the case, or the bottom cover, or adhere it myself. I'm going to give that a try, see if I can do that. So I'm not going to show you what's on screen because it has the user's name in it. Here we go. So the keyboard is trashed. I'm typing the A key, and if I hit it enough times, the caps lock key comes on, your caps lock indicator, and there it goes. So again, the top case is destroyed. It's really unfortunate because the top case isn't cracked anywhere, and it's really in good condition. So I'm hoping that maybe I can figure out a way to... No, it's bonded together, so I can't pull the keyboard off. It actually is bonded to the plastic, so it would be nice if I could. Then I can use the good top case with this keyboard assembly. But sadly, that's not going to be possible. Let's see. Let's take it apart and see what we can do. I do want to save the machine. I'm going to put more memory in it. I'm going to actually put some money into this. I know where I can get a full keyboard or a full display assembly without any cracks in it for $75. It's worth that much at least. I mean, because it's otherwise in pretty good shape. But let's take it apart. And I don't need a tri-wing screwdriver to do it. So, I don't have one here at home. I have one at work. I forgot to take it with me. So that sucks, but I'll have to figure something out. I wish I had an overhead light, that way I wouldn't be casting shadows. Get my screwdriver kit. And what we'll do is we'll start tearing the machine down. I've got some heatsink grease in case I need it. If I find any evidence of liquid underneath the motherboard, then what we're going to have to do is, by the way, this is the battery connector. We can pull that off. There we go. And we're going to use this flat blade screwdriver to get the tri-wing screws out. No, I just broke that screwdriver. It's always best to have the right tools. I own the tools, I just didn't think to bring them home with me. Because I'm just that much of a moron. So, in the past, I have had success using and mangling a freaking screwdriver. I can't believe I did that. So, usually I have one somewhere on my person, but I don't. So, well, okay, we've liberated the battery. That was painless. I did use a flat blade screwdriver, which, by the way, is the wrong tool to use. So I will pause for about a couple seconds while you guys give me a hard time for doing that and tell me that I'm a horrible human being for doing so. When you're done making your comments, just let me know and I'll continue on. Okay, we're going to continue anyway. Let the haters hate. But yeah, I don't normally advocate for the use of the wrong tools because you can not only damage the screw, but you can damage the tool as well. And, okay. But anywho, once I fix this machine, I plan on updating it to 10.9. It'll handle 10.9 just fine. I have actually upgraded one of these already. I actually service a fleet of MacBooks, just like this one. And one of the problems that I found with this design, it really is limited to the all-in-one plastic MacBooks, which is probably why they only made them for about 2 years. But the plastic and the metal frame that is molded around, or that's molded into it, they don't expand and contract at the same rate. So what ends up happening to these, more often than not, is that they develop cracks in weird locations that you wouldn't expect. So finding one without cracks is going to be nearly impossible. That's not the right size. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, we've removed the battery using a flat blade screwdriver. That's the wrong tool to use, obviously, but it gets the job done when the nearest tri-lobe screwdriver is a 45-minute drive away. Yeah, I commute 45 minutes one way to work. It sucks, believe me. So if I need something, sometimes I'll either make do with what I have, or if it's really serious, I'll drive back to work and get it. But I just don't feel like doing that. So now we're going to be taking the CPU fan out. It's held in by 3 screws. I've been working on Macs for a long time, and they've always been kind of fussy because they always use like 8 different screw sizes, and the sizes are so subtly different that you don't always know what goes where until it's too late. So I'm just tearing these screws out and putting them aside helter-skelter. So I'm probably going to put the wrong screws in the wrong place, but I don't care. It's just a knock-around laptop that I'm trying to fix up. So putting as little effort and time as I can into it because it's just not worth it. Oh, there we go. There is one more screw. But yeah, this particular version of the MacBook, the Unibody plastic MacBook, it is fraught with design flaws, and I attribute it to poor material selection. I mean, honestly, molding metal into plastic is just a bad idea. It never works. I mean, typically, the plastic and the metal don't expand and contract at the same rate, and then you wind up with cracks, especially in colder climates like New Hampshire. So let's take a look at this. This is a lucky machine. It does still function, believe it or not, but there's a tiny amount of coffee that leaked through the keyboard covering and onto the motherboard, and it leaked directly onto the CPU heatsink piping, or heat piping. If it had gone anywhere else, it would have shorted out and the machine would have died. But it didn't do that. It lived. Go figure. And, yeah, so this was a victim of a coffee spill if I ever did see one. But what we're going to try to do is pull out as much as we can. We're going to assess the condition of the of the machine itself and see what makes the most sense. Sorry guys, it's been a long day at work. I'm just so tired. It's been fun. So I believe there is a screw, not a screw, I'm sorry, but a cable on the other side of that I need to pull off. So anyway, this laptop was handed to me basically saying, okay, I need you to tell me what it's going to cost to fix, and I'll let you know what I want to do. So I quoted her, priced out some good new parts to fix it. They're Hong Kong Chinese type parts. And it was going to cost around, to do everything she needed, including labor, she was looking at about a $400 bill. It was like $380 to do everything. That's with a new display, a new lower case, and doing it right. And that was also going to include an upgrade to Mavericks and the 4 gigabytes of memory to do the job and to make it run properly. But she said she didn't want to spend the money on it and that I could just have it. So I went ahead and got my own parts, and I'm going to try to put it back together again. You know, I'm not going to waste a perfectly good machine. If I have to put some money into it, I will. But I thought it was a fair price, you know, what I quoted her. But it just she just didn't want to put the money into it, and that's completely understandable. Sometimes it's hard to justify the cost to fix an older machine, you know, when the newer ones aren't much more money. Well, in this case, a new replacement for this laptop would cost her north of $1,300. You know, to get its modern day equivalent, but I want to make sure this is the right part. They did make some design changes over the years, and I just want to make sure I've got the right part here, because if I don't, then I have to go buy a different part, and I don't really want to do that. But it looks to be about the same. Sometimes Apple makes very subtle design changes, and you know, that can get dicey. So what we're going to do here, oh yeah, I wanted to pull the display off, and what I want to do is I'm going to try to wash the keyboard out and then dry it for a couple of days, or stick it in the oven at a low temperature and try to evaporate the liquid. I mean, a very low I'm talking like 100 degrees. I mean, really, we're not talking a lot of heat here. Or I can use my heat gun. But we're going to pull the trackpad off. And to do that, we're just going to take off these screws here. These are very tiny screws. Luckily the trackpad wasn't damaged. They're not cheap. Well, actually they are. They're cheaper than they used to be. Once I get this machine fixed up, I have plans. I want to use it for my own personal use, and just use the MacBook Pro as a work machine, and for online education and that kind of stuff. Because it's got my monitor hooked up to it and everything. Put that aside. I'm going to do something that I've always wanted to try, but never had the balls to do it. Oh shit. There we go. Lost you there. What I want to do is try to wash the keyboard out. Rinse it out, I mean. But you can see, look at this. This is disgusting here. A lot of stuff got washed in there. A lot of dirt, a lot of dust, a lot of coffee. And we're going to peel this all off. Alright. Red liquid. Yeah, some kind of coffee drink, I think. Well, I can't really tell what it is. Hope it's not blood. That'd be nasty. I don't think it's blood. Pretty sure it's not blood. Alright. Get all that all peeled up. Now let's take a look here. The problem is, when you get moisture in here, it gets in between the layers of the keyboard, and they're not very forgiving. The good news is, this design looks pretty open. It looks like we might be able to do something with it. If I rinse it out with alcohol, or just dump alcohol in there so that it evaporates quicker, and then use a heat gun to dry it out, it should be okay. That's what I'm hoping. The liquid spill indicators did not trip. There's one here, and there's one there, and they're still white. But I'm not seeing one in here anywhere. So let's do this. Let's because I do want to save. This is a really nice top case. I want to try to save it if I can. So we're gonna just pull up. Oop, 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 oop. That was screwed in place. And just pull a few parts off of it, and parts that we don't want to get wet, like the MagSafe adapter. And I'm gonna drench it in water, and then we're gonna stick it in a hot oven and let it dry naturally, or force dry. That's it. All right, we got that off. The only thing left, a couple of ribbon cables, but I'm not worried about those. All right, here we go. All right. I'm going to use my vegetable sprayer. I'm not going to use any dish soap. We're just using pure water. And once I get all this rinsed out, now there goes the liquid spill indicators. They're all turning red, as they should. Okay, once we get all this rinsed out, I'm going to flip it around, go from the other side. Get all that syrup or whatever the hell it is out of that keyboard. This thing is going to be like new again. I've never done this, so we're just experimenting here. We don't know if this is going to work or not, but it's always worth a shot. I mean, if the last resort is to buy a whole new top case, I'm always open to ideas. So I think that's as clean as we're going to get her. So I don't want to submerge it, but we've pretty much done the next best thing. And we're going to kind of rinse it out. I mean, the damage may already be done. If the contacts on the flex circuitry are corroded, it's pretty much done. I mean, this is not going to fix the problem. Okay, we're going to use our heat gun. I've already drenched it in alcohol, so that way it'll evaporate a little better. But I want to start the evaporation process because right now my dinner's in the oven, and I just want to get this all started up. I don't want this to sit too long while being soaked. But what we'll do is we'll slowly bake it over the course of like maybe a couple of minutes. And it's already getting kind of hot. Oh, you're so hot. Alright, that should be enough just to start the evaporation process, get it accelerated, you know. Now the age-old question, would putting the laptop in a bag of rice have saved it? Unfortunately, not in this situation. The bag of rice trick only works if it's water. And because coffee and other drinks and stuff contain sweeteners like sugar or saccharin, or and those actually are what cause a lot of the damage. It's those other chemicals, flavorings, sweeteners that cause the most harm. Right now that keyboard is really nice looking, and once I get it in the oven, we'll bake it for a few minutes once my dinner's done, and see how that works out. If that does not work, I still have this keyboard, which I believe is functional, even though it has a lot of crack damage. But while we're waiting for all that, we're going to start working on this. This is the bottom cover. This is a part that can be replaced for free, and you can see there's evidence of the liquid still there. Wash that all off. What we have to do is, because the rubber's separating, we have to finish the separation, and then we're going to try to actually use a spray adhesive and reattach it, make it like new again. Okay, so this is what the undercover looks like with the rubber removed. And what we're going to try to do, I'm thinking, is we're going to liberally coat both surfaces with spray adhesive, and we're going to... That's not going to work. I might have to do something a little drastic. I might have to use felt. That actually has crossed my mind. I think felt would be kind of cool, actually. But let's try it. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna try to iron this smooth with an iron. What else, right? And I'm gonna then get some spray adhesive and see what. Well, I just pulled it out of the oven. Unfortunately, whoops. Well, that kind of put a little kink in my plans there. It got a little hot. I'd say just a little bit, just a little too hot. Yeah. So, yeah. I won't be using this keyboard, ever. Whoops. So what we're going to have to do is rebuild it in this keyboard instead. The one that's all cracked to hell. But, okay, let's give it a try. Alright. Starting up. we're going to do is we're going to try to recover it from the factory CDs. This is actually a brand new, never used copy of, I think it's 10.6. 10.6.1. And once we get that installed, we're going to install 10.9. 9. Yeah. I have that actually copied onto a an external hard drive that I can just copy it right onto the local machine and run it from there. The MacBook Unibody. Oh, what are the specs on this anyway? Oop, I did not want to open software update. Thank you very much. 2 gigs of RAM, 2.26 Intel Core 2 Duo, and it has a 250 gigabyte hard drive. That is the original drive, to my knowledge. So there you go. I have a crazy idea that just might work. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use adhesive, and we're going to put this beautiful, dense, felt-like material on the back side of the keyboard. I'm sorry, the machine bottom cover. And to do that, well, let's just see what happens. Okay, here we go. I've cleaned the surface with alcohol. And then what I'm going to do is really coat the aluminum with adhesive. Oh, this stuff smells so great. Alright, then we're going to let that sit for a second as we coat liberally the felt material with adhesive. Oh, this is just dumb enough to possibly work. We want to use a lot of it. Make sure we're spraying the right friggin' side too. That's critical. Okay, then. Oh god, this stuff has actually gone airborne. I can feel it on my skin. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it upside down. We're going to kind of smooth out the surface. Make it nice and pretty. Then we're going to bend it back. And then we're going to let it cure. Yeah, seriously, the stuff actually got airborne. It might even be on my camera. But I can feel it on the hairs of my arm. Ugh, anyway. So let's cut this all out. We're not going to cut right up to the metal because we also want it to be able to be tucked. And if we don't do that, we'll be fill in the blank. Kind of a one-shot deal. I actually wasted a lot of material. I did that deliberately. I've been hanging on to this stuff for a long time. I'm never going to use it for anything else. And I bought it for my claw machine. So I have this stuff just laying around. And at this point in time, I don't have anything to put down as a barrier to protect the floor while I'm spraying the adhesive. So I'm kind of using the cloth as a makeshift, albeit wasteful, protective barrier. That's very wasteful. See, I don't have any newspapers to subscribe to, or that I subscribe to, so I don't have newsprint to put down on the floor. Okay. There we go. Got that. We can trim it down a little bit later, but for now, my goal is to just have a nice Just kind of get the stuff to conform to the metal and stick permanently. Hopefully it lasts a bit longer than the original rubber. I doubt it will, but like I said, this is just a knock-around machine, so I'm not looking for perfection here. So now we have felted the bottom of the machine. Probably throw this away along with our melted keyboard. Shh! Don't say a word. This could be cool. This could be really cool if it works. The other I actually used the little crack torch to heat up the screwdriver a little bit, and that's how I'm getting these holes defined. Get that sucker nice and hot. I'm using the screwdriver to poke the holes through from the top initially. Once I do that, I can then see the holes and use my screwdriver to help cauterize the holes, which will make them easier to find when I go to remount the panel. Genius. At least I think so. It's not really that hot right now. It's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. Get it hotter. Try that. Oh yeah. That's what we're looking for. Okay. One more time. There we go. That is ready to mount. I present to you the Fuzzy Book. It is fuzzy. And it's a MacBook. There goes the Fuzzy Book. Actually, I like that idea better than what Apple did. I'm missing one screw though. I know I have it probably at work somewhere. But I am missing one screw for the bottom. It's not in the little bag I put the stuff in, but... And yeah. So there we go, the Fuzzy Book. See how that works out. It's definitely leaving fuzzy stuff everywhere. It's no fun. Fuzzy stuff is no fun. Dagnabbit. Missing one screw. Maybe I dropped it, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Either way, I don't have it. And that sucks. Not bad for a freebie. I mean, I had to put a lot of time and effort into it, but nevertheless, if someone were to, like I said, if she was going to pay to have this repaired, I'm going to see what she wants to do with it now that it's working. If she could just pay me for the screen and my labor, you know, we'll be good. So, see what she wants to do with it. Pretty sure she's going to say scrap it, but, you know, that's what she was originally intending. I think she had her mind set on buying a new laptop in the first place. And that's kind of why she didn't really want to do anything with it. So, but if I can get 10.9 going on it, I'll be happy. There's a defect in this screen I just noticed. It's an impact defect. And what the hell? What is it doing now? Anyway, there we go. I don't hear music. It's not good. I hear no music. It's not muted. But there's a defect in the screen itself from, which is the reason why it was replaced in the first place, from the laptop it came off of. So, I don't know why there's no audio, but it's a fresh install of 10.6, so who knows. Anyway, that's it for now, and stay tuned for more. Maybe not, maybe there will be more.